Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 532. I'm Brad Hall, and today I'm thinking about the wonderful women of Los Angeles in the 1980s. I'm a man who likes women, and not only for the reason that I'm sure springs to your mind, but also because they're just wonderful. I knew a lot of women in Los Angeles in the 1980s, and I'm sure that there are still a lot there, and have been for many, many generations. But since the 80s are all that I know, because that's when I lived there, that's what I want to talk about today. If you're interested in meeting women, I recommend that you go to a big city, any big city. Women tend to appreciate civilization, and big cities have that. Of course, if you're interested in meeting men, you may want to go where there's less civilization. And the numbers were very much against women when I lived in LA in the 1980s. It seemed like the town was just bursting with gorgeous, wonderful women, and it was. And as far as I can tell, it's been like that for a very long time. Jan and Dean sang about it in the 1960s in the song Surf City by saying that there's 2 girls for every boy. Good for the boys, not so good for the girls. My heart went out to these women, and it still does. There was only one of me, and I'm a one-woman man, so I would often plead with my fellow men to do better. The plethora of women and the dearth of men seemed to make men just awful. And I often thought that women who wanted romance had to take what they could get. I can't tell you how many beautiful women I saw with men who seemed to have their knuckles dragging on the ground, if you know what I mean. Brutes. Well, all of this female pulchritude tended to make women more assertive, and the women who played hard to get would find themselves not getting got. And the men often felt as if they were in an Elvis movie and could be fast and loose because there would be another gorgeous girl walking up in the next instant. But I also want to talk about the other women that I met, women of character, women that I admire. I had my first female boss in Los Angeles, and she was wonderful. She combined competence on the job with compassion for human beings. Bosses just don't get any better than that. I was also surrounded by a lot of women in corporate America, which was just starting to give women a chance in the 1980s. I just adored the maternal attitude that many of them had for me, and since this was my first real job, I never developed a distaste for females on the job that a lot of older people had. Many of these women became my big protectors in my jobs, standing up for me when needed. They were my Judi Dench to me as James Bond, and if questioned about what I was doing, she would say, his job. The list of these women in my life could go on and on, but I've talked enough now. Suffice to say, I'm no misogynist, and I really mean it when I say, God bless the ladies. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.